going on, everybody? Welcome to Comic Hero Talk. This is the official podcast, episode number 5, and boy, do we have a show for you today. We're just coming off of San Diego Comic-Con 2016, and those of you who are involved in this nerd world and know about most of the stuff that came out, and we're here to talk about it today. I'm your regular host, Jacob Bartley, and guess what? I am not alone today on Comic Hero Talk. I've told you I'm going to get my buddies on here, and I'm joined by Gio Ramos. What's up, man?
Hey, doing good, man. A lot of good stuff came out this weekend.
Yeah, it did. Yeah. Thank you for joining me on Comic Hero Talk, man.
I had to. Yeah.
Sure the watchers/listeners were tired of just seeing me on here or hearing me. So, thanks.
Yeah.
Some of you regular listeners, which is not much, might notice that this is a audio podcast and not a video. It's just easier right now when there's more than one of us to do an audio, and since we have so much to talk about, it might go, I don't know how long it's going to go, easier to edit. So this one's just going to be audio. I might be back to video next week, but we'll see. So trailers. That's the majority of what we're going to talk about today, but we've got some other topics too, but let's jump right into it, man. We got a freaking whole bunch of trailers, and let's start off with some DC trailers, and that being the Wonder Woman trailer. It's the first one I watched, and this movie was already one of my most anticipated for next year, like hands down. And I'll just go ahead and say it, this trailer blew me the hell away. Like, holy crap. Like, yeah, I love the setup and the dialogue and the little moments between the characters, but the thing that caught my eyes is the action. Those action scenes when she's on the battlefield look incredible, like out of this world good. Maybe some of the best I've seen in any superhero movie ever. Like, that's how good it looks. Now I'm gonna wait to decide that when I see it on the big screen, but this looks amazing. I like how Steve Trevor and Wonder Woman are playing off of each other, because we all know that Gal Gadot isn't the most experienced actress. I'm sure she's going to get better. She already has, I think, from Fast and Furious to Batman v Superman. She's improving. But that's why you get someone like Chris Pine, someone with charisma to help carry the movie along with Gal Gadot. So, man, overall, I absolutely loved this trailer. What did you think about it?
Oh, yeah, just rewatching it again and again, like, it gets even better and better. Wonder Woman finally making her big screen debut, and Patty Jenkins, she's a really great director, but she really impressed me with some of the action that was shown in this trailer, especially the slow motion stuff.
Oh yeah,
it really captures what Wonder Woman can do. How skilled of a warrior that she is. She's a warrior first before even anything else. And I love the setting of World War I. It looks awesome. Her and Steve Trevor, they're gonna have some back and forth humor,
Of course,
you got that in the trailer, so that looks cool. And I'm really looking forward to it, man. Like, I'm excited about this. I'm not even worried about Gal Gadot's acting anymore. I mean, she's convinced me enough. What do you people out there expecting? Like some Meryl Streep performance or something? Like, she's good. She's good enough. Like just enjoy Wonder Woman. Like, it looks awesome, and I love the logo
and the music. And I always loved her theme from Batman v Superman ever since we heard it. But the way it comes into the trailer at the end, oh man, I cannot wait for this movie. And it's funny because there's a lot of comedic moments which I expected to some degree, but not as much as they put in this trailer.
You gotta have the humor.
The humor is gonna come from her not being used to the real world, and then her finally coming to the real world and not understanding how people are and how people joke around and stuff. So you're gonna get a lot of that humor.
Yeah, the lady was like, "Oh, I'm his secretary. I do all this stuff."
What's a secretary? Yeah.
Where I'm from, that's slavery.
Yeah, so they're gonna play off Wonder Woman not being used to how the real world works. Yeah. She's been on Themyscira her whole entire life, so she doesn't know what it's like. But yeah, I cannot believe how much I love this trailer. When I swear, when I woke up on, when was it, Saturday morning, and I watched this trailer, I lost my mind. Like, I was jumping up and down in my bed.
You were immediately awake.
Oh yeah, definitely.
No coffee needed.
So, and going from the Wonder Woman trailer to another DC trailer, what was the other one again? Oh yeah, Justice League.
And a surprise move.
So this one's not really a trailer. Actually, Comic-Con footage. It's just footage from the film. But it's kind of a trailer, but not really. It's not set up the way in a trailer. It's just kind of giving us some a little insight into the film. So Gio, I'll let you go ahead and start this one. What did you think of this trailer, man?
Oh man, I love this trailer. And first, let me back up just a second here. The fact that Zack Snyder showed up at Comic-Con in front of all the comic book fans, like the hardcore of the fan base, DC, the people who were actually in Comic-Con. You know, there's something to be said there. Like, he really does care about the fans a lot, and the fact that he showed up, took whatever booze he took on stage, and said, "Look, okay, I have something for you guys. I think you guys are gonna like it." And boom, Justice League trailer comes, and wow, it's amazing. Now, there's some footage in here that we heard about from the set visit preview.
The
Flash with
Barry
Batman
Allen,
scene,
yeah.
The encounter. That looks fun, just as funny as it was when I read it. The Aquaman and Batman, that's the biggest moment that people are talking about, because he makes a reference to Aquaman. You know, I heard you talk to fish.
Yeah.
That's at the very end. It's like, you better be careful, Batman. This is not somebody you want to play with. But all in all, it had humor, it had levity, it had the darkness and grittiness that you'd expect. And I think the biggest thing to take away is that the Flash will be from the DCEU will be its own Flash right here. Like, there's gonna be, people are always gonna compare unfairly because, you know, the TV budget is a lot lower, so they can't do as much. But from this right here, from what I've seen, it's convincing enough to where, okay, you can have two Flashes that exist and you can enjoy both. It's okay to enjoy both. So all in all, a really, really, really good first look. Not even a trailer, if that. And this movie is still over a year away, so we're going to get some more, and probably towards the end of the year we're going to get our first teaser trailer. But right now, I think WB succeeded in getting fans to talk less about Batman v Superman and more about Justice League, because this is the film right here, and I feel like it's gonna be a lot better. Like, it's not gonna be as polarizing, the reception to this movie is. What do you think?
Yeah, I really like the trailer. There's a lot of stuff in there that I love, and like you said, I think my favorite thing in the trailer is Ezra Miller as Barry Allen. Like, this movie needs that. He's going to be a breath of fresh air in this whole entire universe. And I think he's going to add something that none of the other characters can. And it's mostly due to Ezra Miller as an actor. Like, you and I just recently watched Perks of Being a Wallflower.
Yes.
And after watching that, I was like, all right, I'm all in for Ezra Miller as Barry Allen, the Flash, because he has so much personality and so much charisma, and him bouncing off Bruce Wayne and Wonder Woman and even Cyborg. Everyone else is so serious. Think about it.
Yeah.
Aquaman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Cyborg. As far as we know from this trailer, Cyborg is like, he's very hard-nosed, it looks like. So they're all so serious, and he's going to be the one like just talking shit the whole time.
Yeah.
The Flash, and making us laugh. So I'm really excited for his character. Of course, Jason Momoa looks so dang badass. Like, he epitomizes badass. Like, he looks kind of scary in a way.
Yeah.
Like, you're intimidated by him.
What you just reminded me is that all these characters are kind of going through their own, their own tragedies. We know Cyborg is going to be at one point go through a horrific accident that turns him into that. We saw him in his human form before the accident.
And he's probably pissed off about it. Even though he has superpowers now,
you got Aquaman.
Must be pissed off.
Yeah, and you have Aquaman, downing a bottle of whiskey, but he's so torn between, like you said in the comics, he has the Atlanteans who, hate the surface dwellers, and the surface dwellers who
hate the Atlanteans. And people on both sides love and hate him, so he's always torn between.
So maybe them coming together, is not only good for the world, but good for themselves.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, it'll help each individual character with their own whatever's going on in their own lives. But yeah, I'm stoked.
Good music too. Good.
Oh
choice.
Yeah. It all worked together. I'm surprised how much comedy is in there, but I don't mind it. I liked all of it, and you know, we didn't get as much Wonder Woman in this trailer than any other characters, but you didn't need to because we already saw her in Batman v Superman. We still got a whole Wonder Woman trailer.
She got her own trailer.
Yeah, they didn't need to emphasize. We needed to see the Flash and Aquaman in this trailer, and that's who we saw. We saw enough of Cyborg to at least have an idea what the character is going to be like.
Oh, wait till
and wait a minute, who's missing in this? Superman, but
he's gonna be.
We
there.
all know why.
Oh, and speaking of criticism, I've read so many comments. People are like, you know, there's no Green Lantern, there's no Martian, and I'm like, you guys, you don't want to blow your entire load on the first trailer. Like, that's how you get Amazing Spider-Man 2. You know,
or even in the first movie, I'm fine with just these 4 characters in Superman in the first movie.
What this movie will do is it'll show the importance of having Superman a part of the team. You know, because in my own theory, you know, they're gonna come together. It's gonna be awesome. Then they're gonna get their asses handed to, and then Superman's gonna resurrect and be that Superman that the one that fights for, you know, the one that smiles, whatever.
Maybe he's different when he comes back after dying,
resurrected. You know, So I could talk about this all day.
I can't wait to see maybe either a first trailer or even just the movie itself to see them fighting together and like using their powers together. Mm-hmm. Just, you know how in the Avengers, like, you see Thor hit Captain America's shield? Mm-hmm. We're going to see stuff like that with the Justice League, but way different, you know? Like, it's going to be freaking awesome. Mm-hmm. So, overall, I'm thrilled with this footage, and it makes me even more excited for Justice League, which is exactly what it's supposed to do. Mm-hmm. All right, moving on to another DC trailer, but a little bit different, you could say, and that is the Lego Batman trailer. Mm-hmm. Gio, did you get a chance to watch this trailer?
I did get a chance to watch it, and you know, it's everything I would expect. You know, the first teaser trailer, it kind of, you know, it's Batman taking himself a little too seriously, and in this one, he's kind of put in check by Alfred, saying, "No more staying up late." You know, kind of like Alfred being the father figure. You know?
Oh yeah,
you need to be a responsible man. So take care of your adopted son, and it turns out to be Robin, and like. Now it's him showing, Batman showing Robin the ropes, and, you know, there's comedy within that because, you know, he's just a little boy wonder kid, you know, and so it's really it's really a funny trailer, one that, you know, gives me, you know, confidence that this is going to be, you know, just as good, if not maybe better than the Lego movie. But so far, I like what I see, you know, and I think there's references to like little Easter eggs of the Batmobiles, if I'm not mistaken, as Robin's like walking down.
Oh yeah.
Like,
there's like 100 of them. Like it just all these different Bat vehicles keep popping out. Yeah. So no, I really liked it. Here's the thing: like, we're never gonna see like a Batman and Robin movie again. You know. And we're not going to probably ever see Robin in the movie universe. Nightwing, yeah. Dick Grayson, the characters like Jason Todd, Dick Grayson, but I don't think we'll ever see a character called Robin.
Well, they already killed Robin.
That's what I'm saying. So why not do it in this movie where you don't have to take yourself seriously and you can joke about it, you know? Like, you know they're going to make fun of the Joel Schumacher Batman movies. You know they are. And I'm curious, they never say his name. They don't. Is that Dick Grayson?
They don't. They never say.
Are they just gonna call him Robin in the movie? Because they could do that too.
It looks like Carrie Kelly, but
it's a boy though.
It's a boy. It could. Who knows? You know.
Yeah, it might be Dick Grayson, or they might just call him Robin. Funny part to me is when they're going through all the suits, and then it's like, and it says Reggae Man. That's what the Robin suit is called before Robin puts it on. Look. Oh, and it even has the. It has the dreadlocks and stuff. So that was just a Reggae Man suit, and then he turned it into the Robin suit.
Oh boy!
You know, some of the parts are a little bit too kiddie and childish, but it's for kids.
That's what it's for.
It's for kids, though, so I don't mind it as much. You know, you can do it in this movie. You can get away with it. So overall, like we said on the last podcast when we talked about the poster, this movie is just a giant Easter egg. There's going to be so many references and callbacks to the old movies and TV shows and all that, and it's just for a fun time going to the movie theaters and making fun of how Batman is and how serious people take Batman and stuff.
Yeah, so, this is not a movie to complain, fanboys, okay? We got like 7 comic book movies and like 5 Netflix shows coming out, so this is for the kids, and it looks great.
Oh, yeah. All right, well, moving from DC to Marvel, now we're here to talk about the new Doctor Strange trailer, and we just rewatched it. right before we started this podcast. So I'll go ahead and start. Wow, I was blown away by this trailer. I liked the first teaser trailer, quote unquote, but I didn't love it. Like, I wasn't. It was cool to see something from Doctor Strange, but there wasn't a moment in the trailer where I was like, "Oh my god!" I had that moment in this trailer. Yeah. At the end, when he's running up on the building, him and Chiwetel Ejiofor, and then you see just all the buildings collapsing on each other and everything's all sideways now. I'm assuming that Mads Mikkelsen's character is causing all of this.
Oh, yeah.
Is it even destruction, or is it you're having like the world fold into itself? Who knows what's going on? We don't know. But I'm just so excited for this movie. I know people say this over and over and over again, but it's Inception in the MCU in its own right.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like. I don't know if we're not going to be necessarily in Dream World. The Dream World is a place where Doctor Strange goes, but that's not the only place he goes. So I'm just excited to see a new character, a new origin story, and just Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange is amazing. Yeah, I lost my mind when I watched this trailer. The Wonder Woman trailer and this trailer, like, both gave me chills the first time I watched it, and I was jumping up and down. So, yeah, obviously I loved it. Gio, how did you feel about it?
Oh, yeah, I absolutely loved it. You know, Doctor Strange's origin is one of the more tragic ones in the MCU, and I'm very curious if they're going to... It looks like they're following through with that, you know, all the way down to the T. God, you know, it's just... It's unlike anything we've seen in the MCU, you know? And you talked about how the buildings are collapsing. Like, the world is still going as if, you know, nothing's happening. So maybe they're...
Yeah, I'm curious to see how that plays out.
So much curiosity behind this, and it's intriguing, you know, more than anything. But just to see all the worlds collapse and everything, it's just... It's like mind-blowing. And that's exactly what Kevin Feige said, you know. It's going to be... like alternate realities, you know, changing the world from how we know it and this and that. So it looks really good. There's humor in this trailer as well. The Wi-Fi password.
It's going to have the humor in there, the Marvel humor.
It has to have it, yeah. So all in all, it's a really, really, really good trailer. I was kind of hoping to see a little bit more of, like, you know, the colorful sorcery that I see.
Yeah, I was hoping, and I'm not mad. I'm sure we'll see it either in the next trailer or I can just wait till the movie. But I wanted to see Doctor Strange floating in the air and, like, doing some type of sorcery stuff. You know?
Yeah.
But I'm totally fine with this. Like I said, all those buildings collapsing and just seeing him run up and, like, he's looking like, oh shit, like what are we about to do? And then that scene where it's so far away and he's fighting somebody, we're guessing that's Mads Mikkelsen's character. I don't know why I keep forgetting the name. He has a name.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just, man, and like I told you, some of these trailers, like all the DC trailers, those movies come out next year. So I just keep bunching this together with it, like, oh, these are movies from next year, but this comes out this year. So that is totally awesome, man. So yeah, we liked all these trailers pretty much from San Diego Comic-Con.
For Doctor Strange, I'm still waiting on to see a little bit of the horror element that Scott Derrickson's going to bring.
Yeah, I'm sure we're going to see a few different dimensions. Like, as he's going through his training, he's going to have to go to different dimensions and deal with different stuff. So I'm sure we'll see some of those horror elements.
This movie's not done yet. It's still in post-production.
My only reservation, and I said this from the beginning when the castings happened, is that who is Rachel McAdams' character? Is it his love interest? Is it... I know he has a sister in the animated movie, but it doesn't look like they're going that route.
Love interest.
Yeah, I'm upset that they cast her as simply just his love interest. Like, I think she's talented enough to play, like... I know there's women sorcerers in the Doctor Strange comics. Like, I wish she was cast as a woman sorcerer.
She's playing Night Nurse, but I don't know if that's
I think she's better than a little side role, you know? But that has nothing to do with this trailer. That has to do with the movie as a whole. But other than that, I'm totally looking forward to Doctor Strange for sure. So, Gio, we talked about these 4 trailers. There were other trailers that came out. There was another Suicide Squad trailer, but we've seen so much marketing from Suicide Squad, I didn't think it was necessary to talk about that. But out of these 4 trailers that we talked about, movie trailers, who takes the cake for you? I think I know, but... maybe not.
Well, for me, the best trailer is the Wonder Woman trailer, but my favorite trailer is by far the Justice League one.
Yeah.
I mean, everything from, you know, Ben Affleck as Bruce Wayne recruiting, you know, all the members, or trying to recruit It's really awesome to see, you know, and it's showing how far Batman has come as a character since BVS, you know, and he's no longer, you know, he's a little more trustworthy, I guess you could say. Like, his faith in humanity has been restored. The comedy, seeing the Flash in his mech suit, Aquaman, you know, like with the waves splashing toward him in slow motion, Cyborg in his, you know, his I guess final form, I guess you could say his combat form, all looks awesome. I cannot wait to see this movie. Sucks it comes out in over a year, but you know, I'm gonna be crossing my fingers and hoping that that Zack Snyder goes out with a bang.
Oh yeah, I can't blame you for choosing Justice League. Like, there's a lot of stuff in there that I really like, and especially you're so excited for Jason Momoa as Aquaman.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, so you said Wonder Woman's the best, but that Justice League is your favorite.
My favorite.
I gotta go. Wonder Woman's the best, and Wonder Woman is my favorite trailer.
Right,
I told you from the beginning, man.
Yeah.
The Wonder Woman trailer blew me away. I almost said it when we first started the podcast that it was my favorite, but I didn't want to ruin the surprise. But hands down, the Wonder Woman trailer, partially because I've been anticipating this movie and this trailer and seeing more footage from this movie so much, but also because it killed it. It delivered so well with those action scenes, man. I can't wait to see that in IMAX. I'm going to see that movie in IMAX. It's gonna look freaking amazing. I think this movie has the potential to be one of the best comic book movies ever made. Every comic book movie does, but just looking at it's gonna be the first prominent female superhero movie that we ever had. I think, like, sure, we had Catwoman, which was one of the worst movies made of all time, but this is going to be the one. This is going to be the movie to set the bar for female superheroes. So we'll see. And Doctor Strange is a close second, like right behind Wonder Woman for as far as trailers for me. But overall, I really did like all of them. So enough with the movie trailers for now. We're gonna have some TV trailers to talk about later, but we have 2 more topics to talk about as far as movies go. Now, those of you may know, when was it? A few months ago, or a little over a month ago, Brie Larson was rumored to be cast as Captain Marvel, and we talked about it several times, and it is official. They announced at Comic-Con that Brie Larson is our Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Now, for me, this is amazing because she was my number one choice. I won't talk about this too much, but I predicted her being cast.
You did, like
months ago, like over 6 months ago, maybe even a year ago. I said she was my number one choice. It makes sense. She's the right age. She's young enough to where she can play this character for 10 or 15 more years. And also, ever since I found out who Captain Marvel is and I've gained interest in her, I've been reading her comics. And I cannot wait for this movie. I think she's going to be amazing. I hope we see her in Avengers Infinity War, maybe Part 2. Oh, wait, her movie comes out before that.
Well,
right?
I mean, her movie comes out in 2019.
Okay.
So we got a while.
Avengers Infinity War, aren't they 18 and 19?
I think it's 17 is 18 is Black Panther, 17 is Thor, Ragnarok, and Spider-Man. So
I think they are 18 and 19. So I think it goes Infinity War Part 1, then Captain Marvel, then Infinity War Part 2. I'm pretty sure. I'm not 100% positive on that. Either way, I think it would be smart for them to introduce her in the Avengers movie and then give us her origin, but after Wonder Woman, this is going to be the next most important female superhero movie, and I'm glad Wonder Woman's movie is coming first because Wonder Woman is the Superman of superheroes, female superheroes, you know, and she deserves it. But as far as Marvel characters go, they never have had a Wonder Woman type character, but I think Captain Marvel can be that for them. So this is a very important casting, and I think it's the right casting because you need someone who can act, and she just won an Oscar, and I think you need someone young. So overall, I love this. I'm so happy that it's official. Gio, how do you feel about it?
I mean, what more can I say other than what you said? You know, she just won her Oscar. She's the right age, and you know she can continue doing these indie films, but she clearly wants to dip her feet into the action. We're seeing that with Kong, and we're gonna get our first taste of her in an action role. You know, and like you said, maybe she'll pop up in Avengers Now I don't know if it's part 1. They're renaming the titles. So
but that's what we're just calling that for now.
Yeah.
Avengers 3 and 4.
And Kevin Feige, the way he did it, I mean, he didn't make it a focal point of their presentation at Hall H, but the way he did it was like, okay, here's the cherry on top. We gave you Doctor Strange, we gave you Spider-Man Homecoming footage, we gave you Guardians of the Galaxy footage, this and that. Oh, before we end this, let's get a group photo here. And before we do that, let's bring out the entire Marvel family. So let's bring out Brie Larson as Captain Marvel, and the whole Hall H went crazy.
I knew they were going to announce it. I knew they were.
I mean, she's there.
I said
Comic-Con.
that before Comic-Con started. That one thing I know we're getting is Brie Larson as Captain Marvel.
You called it, yeah. So, I'm excited about it. I'm happy she's it. Now we wait and see. Next is who's the director and who's going to be.
Oh yeah, another part of this story is Kevin Feige spoke with I think ComingSoon.net, and he told them that the short list is down to 10. That's not really a short list for me.
Yeah.
But I know we talked about Jennifer Kent, director of The Babadook. I would love for that because that movie got some great performances brought out of it, so I'm cool with that. But also, I forget her name, but the woman who was on to direct Wonder Woman at first, she's directed Breaking Bad and Game of Thrones. I forget her name, but she would be a great choice as well. But regardless, Marvel's going to make the right choice. They do it all the time with casting and directing, so I'm sure we'll find out who the director is pretty soon.
Give me
here.
Catherine Bigelow from Hurt Locker.
Hey, I'm so down for that. I would love that. All right, moving on to something that I really thought we were going to get, and I'm kind of upset about, but I was hoping, and I thought for sure we were going to get a Power Rangers trailer. So we got this. First, let's talk about this image. We talked about it on our Apocalypse Movie News podcast, but I didn't talk about it on Comic Hero Talk, and I talk a lot about Power Rangers, so I feel like I need to talk about that image again. The one with them, they're in their suits, and the helmets are lifted up, and they're kind of staring off, looking like they're getting ready for battle.
Oh, yeah.
I love the image. Not because I love the costumes. I think the costumes are all right, but I love the image because the look on their face. They look scared as shit, and I think high school kids would be in that situation. So, Gio, you gave your thoughts before, but how did you feel about that?
Well,
image?
yeah, it's exactly how you said. They're just kids, and that makes so much sense because you have the X-Men First Class writers who also treated the kids in X-Men First Class, like a. Very almost coming of age.
Yeah, in a way, yeah. And this movie's gonna have coming of age elements. It's when you have high school kids,
So I like the image. It gives us also a close up of the alien suits, I guess you could say, which I buy. And this is someone who grew up watching the first couple seasons of Power Rangers, up until Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh took over my life. So I'm just, seeing all that, it looks really awesome. And again, so does Elizabeth Banks as Rita. She looks amazing, terrific as well. I'm kind of upset that they didn't give me...
Yeah, that's the thing here. That's why I wanted to bring this up is why didn't they drop a trailer? Now, at first, I was just disappointed. Like, man, I was really hoping to see a Power Rangers trailer because if you've been listening to this YouTube channel, you know I'm a huge Power Rangers fan. My review of the first half of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Season 1 is up. Please go check that out. But I just was hoping for a trailer. Now that I got a chance to think about it, though, I feel like it would have been overshadowed by all this other stuff. By the Wonder Woman trailer, by the Justice League trailer, by the Doctor Strange trailer.
Oh, of course.
Those would have overshadowed it. So now I think it was a smart play because they're like, look, if we release the trailer, it's just going to get swallowed up by all this Marvel and DC stuff, which is worldwide and more popular right now. And it's the hot stuff. So maybe wait a couple weeks. The movie comes out in March of 2017, so they still have time. So I'm sure we'll see a trailer pretty soon.
Yeah, for myself, because Comic-Con is like such a huge thing, and just to get that buzz going, I thought that would have been important.
Yeah, it would have been a nice place to do it at. It really would have.
I'm sure they'll find a way. They'll put it in front of some other trailer, or maybe
they're just gonna drop it online one day,
probably, or maybe WonderCon or one of these other cons that come up.
we're gonna wake up and then it's just gonna be online one of these days. So we'll see. Maybe we'll get a teaser trailer first. All right, well, that's going to do it for the movie news segment of the Comic Hero Talk podcast. Now, let's move on to some TV stuff, which I love this segment because we primarily podcast about movies on the Apocalypse Movies YouTube channel, Apocalypse with an X. Please go check that out. We talk about all movies. But I created this channel to kind of talk about some TV stuff and mainly superhero TV stuff. So, along with all these movie trailers, we got some cool TV trailers as well, and we're going to start off with Marvel this time, and we got some Marvel Netflix TV trailers, and this Marvel Netflix game is killing it right now. I am so impressed with the Daredevil season so far, and also Jessica Jones. I loved Jessica Jones. I know some people didn't, but I loved it. Right now, I actually have... So, Daredevil season 2 is on a whole nother level. That's the best they've done so far. It might be the best TV season of comic book we've ever seen. But then I actually got Jessica Jones second, and then Daredevil season 1 third, but they're all great in my opinion. So now we got Luke Cage coming up, we got Iron Fist coming up, and then we got the Defenders. I believe the way it goes is Luke Cage comes out later this year, then Iron Fist at the beginning of next year, then Defenders later on next year. I believe that's how it goes.
It's gonna be a big year.
We first got the Luke Cage trailer, so let's talk about that. Gio, you watched it. How did you feel about the Luke Cage trailer?
I really liked it, man. And the music that they play, it just goes perfect with, like,
he's
Luke
in
Cage
Harlem, and that's
Harlem.
It fits the character.
It definitely fits the character. Seeing him pull a car door and just ram in it like he's the Juggernaut, through the walls of the building and take down all these people. It's really awesome to look at, and it just makes the Luke Cage character so much more cool. And I mean, we don't know who the threat is. It's just a teaser trailer, but I'm buying into it. I like the tone of it. I like the setting, and I mean, I don't know the actor's name, but whoever God, I'm gonna look at his
Mike
name.
Coulter?
Mike Coulter.
Yeah.
Who played Mike Coulter, I think. Who played Luke Cage? Like, I bought him. Like, that guy.
Yeah.
He was
We got to
awesome.
know him a little bit in Jessica Jones.
Yeah, he was awesome.
I loved his character in Jessica Jones.
Overall, I really like this trailer.
Yeah, I loved it too, man. It's really fitting for the character, and it's something different. It's crazy to think that this exists in the Marvel Universe. They can go from so many different places as far as the movies and the TVs go, and I love it. It's just like the comic books where you had all these interacting pieces working together to establish one entire world. And even though we're probably not going to see the movies and the TVs cross over directly, I love how they're still involved. They still, like, the movies affect these TV shows, and they make references and stuff, especially with the division of Kevin Feige and the guy who runs the TV, the part of Marvel. They had the division, and now he doesn't have to answer to him. So but either way, I love this Luke Cage trailer, and I love Luke Cage's attitude. Like, he's so calm, and he never gets angry. He shows his anger through his fighting and stuff. And I love how his skin is impenetrable, and he doesn't have to worry about getting shot. Like, he just walk in there and
kind of makes the whole purpose of him carrying a car door in front of him, pointless.
He just was using
it's cool
to break to break the walls down.
Yeah, it's cool to watch. It's cool to watch.
So we saw that Luke Cage trailer, but we got our very first footage of Iron Fist, and this is the definition of a teaser right here. It's like less than a minute long, and you just get some glimpses of some stuff. But we just rewatched it. Gio, how'd you feel about this Iron Fist?
I like what I saw. Again, it's not much. It teases that he gets his abilities from a foreign place. It looks like a place similar to where Doctor Strange gets his stuff.
Somehow there's some connection right there in the comics. I don't know if they're going to carry through with that. Because it kind of looks like a similar setting with the place he wakes up,
Yeah, and the next thing you know, we see him back in Hell's Kitchen, and he punches a wall, and we're like, okay, now I'm curious. Like, how did he get these abilities, and what else can he do? So, and it's the dude from Game of Thrones.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, so I like him. I like the teaser, and looking forward to it. We'll get another trailer probably in a couple months.
Yeah, I always wondered, how are they going to do Iron Fist? That's an interesting one, because I could see Daredevil and Jessica Jones and Luke Cage all existing in the same area,
Right.
But I was like, Iron Fist is so different. It's very mystical and stuff like that because.
Yeah.
So, and I love the way they set it up. Like he gets in some type of accident when he's young. Maybe his mother dies, and he lands in this area where this group picks him up, and he obviously gets trained up until his adulthood, and then he ends up back in Hell's Kitchen, and he has these powers. He is the Iron Fist. It's some type of magical power that gives him his powers and gives him the ability to summon the Iron Fist and use it. So, yeah. The biggest thing this did for me was establish what type of tone they're going for, and it made it real to me. Like I never was able to think about it in my head, like how they're going to do Iron Fist, but now I know.
Yeah.
I have an idea at least of how they're going to go about it. So I do like that we finally got something. And then let's talk about the Defenders little teaser real quick. We don't see any footage. It's just like some music playing.
We don't see anything.
With I don't even know what's going on. It's just some music playing with some drawings and stuff, and it's showing each like clues to each character, and then it says defend in the middle of a hand, and then you hear the character Stick from Daredevil, which this was my favorite part of the whole teaser. I mean, what else is there in it anyways? But he says, "You think you four can save New York? You can't even save yourselves." And the way he says it is just so awesome, and I love that character in Daredevil. Mm-hmm. So I'm interested to see these four characters come together and what type of role Stick's going to play in there. But I mean, it got me excited for the Defender series.
Oh, yeah.
Like I think it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, adding to what you said, the newspaper clippings they kind of like tease, like the Alias and the Nelson and Murdoch and all that kind of stuff.
Devils of Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah. And then how Defenders is spelled out. It has like the D from Daredevil and I think the F from Iron Fist and something from Jessica Jones. I mean it's a good teaser. It gets fans excited. It lets them know that Defenders is coming and bigger things are coming from the Netflix.
Yeah, it was cool. Yeah. It was kind of just be ready. Like this, you're gonna see these four characters come together and form their own mini Avengers team protecting Hell's Kitchen. It's gonna be so much lower scale, but it's gonna be just as entertaining to watch. I imagine like those battles at the end of Daredevil season 2, but with these four characters all around. Like it's going to be awesome, especially with the action in Daredevil. I can't wait. All right, so let's say out of these three trailers, which one did you like the best? It was probably Luke Cage, right?
Definitely Luke Cage.
Yeah.
It's also the coolest trailer. Right?
Yeah, and you get the most from. I'm gonna have to go with Luke Cage too. There's not much from the Defenders, really not much from Iron Fist, but yeah, definitely Luke Cage. All right, now moving on to some DC TV. Now this is quite different because these DC shows do not exist in the movie universe of DC as far as we know right now. So we got a new Flash Season 3 trailer and a new Arrow Season 5 trailer. So let's start with the Flash Season 3 trailer. Gio, you watched it. I know you're not completely caught up with Flash, but you can still give your opinion on the trailer. What did you think of it?
It's very twisted. I like how they reference Flashpoint and Grant Gustin. Well, yeah, Grant Gustin, but Barry Allen. He's so happy to be like back home.
Yeah.
And this and that, but then he learns like, and we've seen this in movies and TV shows before, like sometimes what you want is not really what you want.
Yeah, be careful what you ask for.
Be careful what you ask for.
Yeah.
Yes, perfect. And then we see all this stuff happening, and it puts him in a much different situation because we've seen this happen before in a Flash TV show with several characters, but not like everyone. Where he's like out of place and this and that. And look, we're going to see a different kind of performance from Cisco Ramon. We're going to see a different kind of relationship between Joe West and Iris and him. So it's doing something different, putting Barry Allen in a different situation, a much different situation for season 3. I don't know about all these other speedsters. I guess Dude is now a speedster, right?
Well, that's Wally West.
Yeah,
that's Joe's son. Yeah,
and there's another speedster, like the black suit guy with the.
Yeah, I have no idea who that's gonna be.
Yeah.
I'm guessing. I think he's called Black Flash or something like that.
And Barry still has his power.
I hope so.
Okay,
I hope so. That would be. Oh man, I'd be upset.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how 3 speedsters are gonna work together, if that, or maybe against each other. Who knows?
Yeah. So basically, I mean, if you watch this trailer, then you're not worried about spoilers because it spoils everything that happens at the end of season 2.
Yeah.
So we're already talking spoilers.
Yeah.
So at the end, he goes back and saves his mom, and that's going to change everything. And I think that's what happens in the Flashpoint paradox in the comics. I believe that's the same thing, that he goes back and saves his mom, and then it changes everything. And here's the thing. I like this trailer a lot because I'm a huge fan of The Flash. I think The Flash season 1 is just as great as Daredevil season 2 in my opinion. I have a hard time debating which season I like better. So I love this show, and even at the end of the trailer when the music starts playing, I got chills. But at the same time, I'm worried because I love the world they established and the world they've grown and the world that we've built into, and they're changing everything. Now, I'm assuming that this is only going to go on for so long. Like, it's going to go on for a few episodes and he's going to fix it. If not, and this is the world's... I highly doubt this is going to be the world going forward. Like, that's going to be weird. Because then everything's changed. Because then all these relationships and characters we've got to know over 2 seasons are gone.
So basically, I'm good. If I'm coming in on season 3, or if somebody else is like, "Hey, should I watch Flash?" I'll be like, "Yeah, just watch season 3, skip 1 and 2. Like, it's not gonna matter. Like, I mean, if you want to throw it on, sure. But if they do that, you know."
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm cool with this. I like the trailer. I'm curious to see how this all plays out, but I hope it just goes back. He finds a way to fix it and goes back to normal. Now, this raises the question. Now we got the Arrow Season 5 trailer. How come nothing changed in the Arrow Season 5? They exist in the same world. So I'm curious to see, maybe Barry Allen's in this alternate timeline.
And he ain't there.
And we're seeing Arrow in the real timeline. I'm guessing that's what's happening because we hear that line in the Flash trailer where it's like, this is a mirage, kind of a reverse Flash is saying that to him. Yeah. So I'm guessing that's what's going on. But, so I'm kind of worried about Arrow because, look, Arrow... I love the first 2 seasons of Arrow. Incredible. Season 3 was a disappointment. Season 4 was better than Season 3, but still somewhat of a disappointment. Now, we've been hearing Stephen Amell say, oh, we're going to go back to the basics in Season 5. One of the problems I had with Season 3 and 4 of Arrow is that they started having too many people on their team. The show was best when it was Arrow, Diggle, and Felicity, and them 3 handling missions together. When they started adding Laurel and Thea and everybody else joining the team is when the show lost its ground. So now what they're doing is bringing in 3 other people to join their team. This pisses me off because I used to love this show, and I still love the characters. I love Stephen Amell as Arrow. I love Felicity. I love Diggle. Like, that's what made me fall in love with this show, is that trinity. And I was at the end of season 4. Laurel's dead. Thea says, I can't do this anymore. And Diggle goes off, and I thought he'd be gone for long. So I was like, oh, maybe we'll get back to Diggle, Felicity, and Arrow. Oliver Queen.
Nah.
So now,
nah.
Just get 3 more people who aren't trained assassins, who didn't get trained by the League of Assassins, who weren't trapped on an island for 5 years getting trained. Again, it's repeating with Laurel. Now, I'll hold my reservations because I don't know. Maybe these other characters have backgrounds that I don't know about. But it's just doing the same thing that didn't work in season 3 and 4, which is adding all these. Now we're going to have a team. This is basically like a team-up show. It's another Legends of Tomorrow type show. It's not Arrow anymore. So that's my worry. But even though that's the case, there was still some really cool stuff in there. Like, seeing him train with them and like whooping all their asses, that was pretty cool. But at the same time, I wanted them to get back to basics. Gio, I know you're not the biggest Arrow fan. You like the show here and there, but what did you think about this?
I completely agree with what you said. What kind of pissed me off about watching Arrow was Laurel and Thea. And sometimes, who's Thea's
dad, Malcolm Merlyn?
No, not the dad. The dad was awesome. Who was the other?
Roy Harper?
Yeah, Roy Harper. He at times pissed me off too. It's like, because they continue to do things that kind of contradict why they should be a part of this team. Stuff that constantly, like, Arrow has to go, oh God, I gotta go save your ass now.
Oh, yeah.
God damn. And it's like, it would just cringe,
and he was always getting mad at them for messing up.
Yeah, and it's like, dude, why do you still have these people on your team? It makes me roll my eyes. Like, I'm sure people who love Thea and I'm sure they're happy about seeing her in costume and get to do action and this and that. But at what expense, you know? Like, because all you're doing now is you're dealing with so many things right now, and you want people to be, oh no. Still be convinced that these people should be a part of a team that should be a team. It's like, no, just the only people I find interesting are like Malcolm, Arrow, and especially Diggle.
Diggle's,
Diggle's the man.
Diggle is a lot of people's favorite character.
If Diggle leaves,
awesome.
I leave.
Yeah.
But, I don't. Maybe it could be cool. Who knows? We might grow to like maybe one of these characters of the three who they're introducing.
The one I'm interested in is Wild Dog. It's the Hispanic actor is playing him.
Oh, the guy from Coach Carter?
Yeah, forget his name, but I remember when he was cast, and Wild Dog is a character in the comics. We don't know anything about that character. So the girl that they introduced, she was in season 4, and I have no idea why the hell they're having her join the team, because that doesn't even make any sense to me. But I don't know. I'm always gonna watch this show unless it gets horrible. But I'm invested in this CW/DC universe, and Flash is holding the torch and carrying this for me. I really liked Supergirl season 1. Not great, but I enjoyed it enough to want to keep watching it. And now it's on the CW. It's an official part of that universe.
Yeah.
And there's enough going on in this universe to where I'm gonna definitely keep watching all 4 shows. Especially Malcolm Merlyn, the actor John Barrowman just signed a contract to like a long-term contract to be on all 4 shows, so I'm really curious about that. But yeah, I didn't love this Arrow season 5 trailer, but of course I'm gonna keep watching. Well, that's it for all the TV stuff. So yeah, I think we liked the Marvel Netflix trailers a lot more, but I really did like the Flash one. I'm just worried about where they're going with that whole thing. And I don't have a comic book segment this week because there's so much stuff to talk about coming out of Comic-Con. So I'll get back to my comic reviews next week and catch up on some of the stuff that I read and some of the newer stuff. But that's going to do it for the Comic Hero Talk official podcast, episode number 5. I want to thank Gio Ramos for joining me today, man. I really appreciate it. I wanted some other opinions on these topics. So thank you, and let them know where they can find you online.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. This was fun. You can find me on Twitter at GioRamos24 and check out apocalypsemovies.com. Apocalypse with an X.
And you know me, Jacob Bartley. You can find me on Twitter at JacobBartley_ on this Comic Hero Talk YouTube channel. Subscribe, hit that like button, hit me up in the comment section. Let us know what you thought of any of the topics that we talked about today. Thanks again for listening. Until next time, take care.